Hey everyone, I'm your pal the Kanyan, and I've got kind of a different video for you. Now this time I have 4 battles, and you'll see why when we get into them. But this first match, I don't know what happened when I was recording, but I fought a bunch of Pokemon that I don't know their movesets. I was really nervous during each and every single one of these fights, barring one of them. But in this first battle, I'm fighting this Brazen, Edward, and I'm really upset when I learned that some of Brazen's moves can hit very easily, and oh man, it's something that you have to deal with this game. Sometimes when you think you know the game, you don't. There's always something to learn about one of the characters, and it's like a never-ending process. It's just going to happen. So right here, he pops Eevee, which gives him, I believe, a boost in attack and maybe some HP back. I'm not entirely sure, but he's using his burst mode and his burst attack to avoid my assist, and I think this comes very close to killing me. I don't remember if it does or not. Now, the reason I don't do live commentary on this is because I'm trying to focus during these fights, and that lot of good that did me there. So, I'm thinking, alright, he knows to avoid... he knows to avoid Emolga, so I need to go in closer, and I'm a little upset because I still can't get in. But those counterattacks, I've been using those a lot more in the single-player version, and it's paying off because I'm getting more used to using them. All he had to do, for example, there is either continue to block or go for a counter himself, which I believe every Pokemon has. Look how good those counter hits are. Like, I took no damage there, and I was able to punish him back. So, it's a matter of closing in, because some characters are more comfortable up close, while other characters are more comfortable at a distance. So, this time I switched back to Emolga, thinking, alright, let's give this one more shot. Pikachu's aerial kick during field phase is probably one of my favorite moves for closing in. And so, I really don't want him to hit me with this, and it turns out you can block it, so I was pretty happy about that. And the counter hit again coming in handy, saving me. When Fennekin throws the stick out, and you hit Fennekin, I'm calling her Fennekin, it's a Brazen, my bad. But if you hit the stick, like if you jump over it and then hit her, Brazen won't have that stick rebound to her, she just kind of gets it back. So you don't have to worry about it coming back and hitting you from behind, like Cubone's Boomerang does. It's an interesting matchup, and I think I want to kind of pick up Brazen in the future and see what that character's really all about. Now, this battle here, I love to death. Now, to Hattie Gamer, I was really interested. I'm like, oh, does he have a YouTube channel? And he does not. I could not find one. But his Garchomp is clean. And Garchomp was one of the characters I was looking at playing in this game. And in the end, I settled on good old Pikachu. So, between these matches, what you're not seeing is like the 7 failed attempts to connect to someone. So, I was just happy to be playing it all. And, like, this first round here, I'm just kind of messing around with combos, doing whatever. Trying to keep my distance because Garchomp has some crazy moves. Garchomp, I know, is a character that's very comfortable at close to mid-range, so it's kind of intimidating going against that, but as long as you can... It's a mix between figuring out what you need to do and figuring out what Garchomp might do, and I know that sounds kind of crappy, but I mean, that's the game. It's all about predictions. Like this dig attack, it hits so high in the air. I was trying to avoid it, but I nail him with the thunder. A lot of people seem to fall for that, I don't know why. Now, I was kind of disappointed in that first round. It was really good, but I was like, man, I guess... Because I was worried that he would play exactly the same. He mixes it up entirely. And I don't know if the Hattie Gamer will ever see this video, but good job on this battle. It was a lot of fun, and I hope I bump into him again. So, he's figured out I like those counter attacks, and he starts to use throws. So that's the first big change I experienced in this round. Next, he's figured out I like to get in close, and so he's playing a little more defensively, and that's destroying me. I was hoping that would hit him on their way up, but I still took damage. And that dig attack, man, I got decimated that second round, so at this point, I'm sitting up in my chair, I'm on the edge of my seat, I'm ready to play. This is what Pokken is. It's not just mashing buttons. It's about finding an opponent who knows how to play and adapt, and then actually having, like, a Pokemon battle. This is what Pokken should be, and I loved every second of this fight. So, the counter attack there, he used Dig and I countered it. I avoided taking damage, but because of the way that move works, I couldn't actually hit him. And then he goes into burst mode to avoid my burst attack, and I happen to miss his burst attack by complete accident. And that Eevee boosting his attack stat will not be good for me. We both fall out of burst mode. He's timing his stomps perfectly. Now, that was mainly just to keep him from closing in a little bit more. It didn't really help. So, Field Phase, I have a little bit more advantage because I can move side to side. But the problem is, I don't like Field Phase. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'd rather go in a dual phase and try to punish my opponents there. But I just don't know how to deal with that dig attack correctly. So this was a really good match. I learned a lot. I wasn't sure what Garchomp was capable of, and I know now. That was actually my first loss online, and it made me want more. Now, whenever you see someone on Pokken in the low rankings, and their number of battles are low, it almost means nothing. That could mean that they just battled against other people who were really good, or it just means that, like, maybe they have internet issues. But in this match, I am the Pikachu with the underpants. And so, this area is like an oval. Like a giant oval, and some maps are like that. And right here, I'm trying to make sure I can get in close. He tried to grab. One thing I noticed about certain Pikachu players is they'll kind of be spammy with certain moves. I know I am, with that aerial move right there, but that's kind of the charm about this game, is when you're spamming moves, there's like 2 different moves you can learn to kind of go into that. Volt Tackle, I'm learning, is such a good move for getting out of tight spots. If you're getting comboed, if they're going for throws, it's just good. It stuns the opponent out. It doesn't stun them in the sense that they can't move, but it stops them from following in with more combos. So it gives you kind of a chance to escape, and it doesn't always work. I've countered Volt Tackles before, and that's the reason I say that. But look at that, right there. That use of Volt Tackle just nailed me. So, this second round, he switched up entirely. He's playing so much more aggressively. So I decided I need to play aggressively as well. Goes into burst mode. Now this is always kind of scary, because they get a boost to attack, defense, and they can pull off some different moves. Volt Tackle at this point now has a second like a second stage to it where he can go down after flying up in the air and he's less vulnerable. I don't feel like taking that projectile, and I want to close in, but I don't quite reach him with the burst attack. But I'm dealing extra damage, and so I figure now is the time to get aggressive. That Espeon giving him more synergy and a little bit more health, but he's low enough to where I feel like I can nail him. And he goes for the Volt Tackle thinking I was going to go up again, but I chose to stay on the ground. More out of panic than out of anything, but it turned out to be the right move. And that was a really fun match. Mirror matches in this game are always interesting, because you don't know what the other person is necessarily going to bring to the table. They could play the same way you do, or they could play entirely different. Now, this match was pretty fun. I thought I was going to lose this one, because I had no idea what moves Weavile could use, what his moves did, and so I just went into this thinking, alright, I'm just gonna go for it. Now, Weavile, I believe, has the lowest HP in the game, next to Pikachu, but he's the fastest. And it shows, because I have a hard time catching him. You'll see that in the video, but look how hard this man is reading me right now. So I break off the wall and I jump out, trying to get some distance. And that move, man, this scares me. Anytime I see Snivy as an assist pop out, I try to jump away, when I believe the right answer is just to hold the block button, which I almost never do. So, Diglett does hit here, but him going into burst mode knocked me away to the point where I couldn't follow up on it. And I believe this finishes me off from this round. Yup, almost. Doesn't matter. I have a lot of instances where that happens, where they'll hit me with a burst attack, and I have like 1 or 2 hit points left, and somehow I think, maybe I can turn this around. And then they hit me once, and I'm like, oh yeah, 1 HP. So, I'm trying to figure out how to play against this person, and I figure I need to mix it up and do a mix between defense and grabs, because he figures out I like to go up in the air. A lot of people figure that out, actually, and I should probably stop doing it. But rather than trying to play projectile, I just smack him. I try to jump over the Lapras, so it doesn't work. I don't think you can. And because we're in dual phase, I couldn't go to the left or right, and I was right above him. I was right in the cone for that burst attack to hit. I was kind of hoping I would have been too high, but that would have been really hard to do. So I thought about going for the burst attack, but he grabs me before it can pop. And I didn't know that could happen in this game. But rather than trying to jump out and do something fancy, I just go for that kick. And we move into a final round. This is why I included this match in this game, or in this video, because so many crazy things are happening in this that I had to talk about it. Now, he's getting... This player's really grabby, and he pops this in field phase, and I believe it hits me. I probably should have just started dodging to the left or right. Now, this is where I lucked out, and I learned earlier during the Brazen battle that I could block burst attacks, so I just held onto that button and it worked. It paid off. Now, Cubone here, I believe, actually helped me. I don't think I was the one that made the connecting hit. And I usually, when I'm that close to other Pokemon, that move hits. But Weavile's got a smaller hitbox, I guess. I don't know. I was really upset that that didn't hit. And I just decided instead to go for Thunder. Because he seems to be under the assumption I was gonna go in close, or maybe he misclicked his buttons. Because he was only doing close, like, attacks. But I got lucky there, and that battle could have gone either direction. But that's why I love this game. It's just changing all the time. But anyway, that's all for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.